Hello, welcome to the Tools menu module. We're going to pop right in here and explore the first item on the Tools menu, which is New Order, which can also be reached by pressing F9. We'll click here, and instantly what will pop up is our New Order window showing us where the prices are, and that we can instantly click buy or sell to immediately get into a position. This is called a market order, and you are filled at the prevailing price basically in your market order. Okay, so some of the other options here. Let's look. You want to change markets? There we go. Euro dollar, US dollar, dollar franc, pound dollar, whichever you are choosing to trade. Change the volume here. You can set your stop loss, and you can see it goes close to the. All you do is click on that, and it goes close to the price that you're at. Now you're setting a stop loss for one or the other. Quite naturally, when you're in a long position, your stop loss is going to be below where you place your order. When you're in a short position, your stop loss is going to be higher than where you place your order. You could set up take profit here too, a single click. If you're in a buy, you take your profit higher. If you're in a sell, you take your profit lower. And you can also set this up for instant execution or even a pending order. Now, in pending orders, you can get in the buy at a limit. And you can see here the little entry price moves down. Okay, it says the open price you set must differ from the market price by at least 40 pips. And I believe this is going to be different with different brokers. So you can set that up to be different with different brokers. Okay. Because as not all brokers have the same margin requirements necessarily, their requirements for the placement of orders as well are different. Now here you can see the stop loss line move. There we go. Move it. Scroll down there, and you can see the take profit line move too. It's very, very handy. It's nice to be able to see these types of things. Now you've got a variety of things you can do here. You can expire this order at a particular time, or you don't have to. A couple different things you can do: buy limit, sell limit, buy stop, and sell stop. All great things to have in our arsenal as we trade. And again, back up here, another option will be the volume, and volume will be particularly important. And this is the actual lot volume. Okay, it's not the volume of the market itself, like how many contracts are traded overall. This is what you're doing as far as your lot size is concerned. There's one lot, two, three, four, up to 8 in this particular case, and it's set up this way based upon the amount that you open your demo account with. So we got a lot of flexibility here. Okay, that's basically the order window. It's very intuitive and easy to use and very, very straightforward. Now let's pop over to the History Center. In the History Center, we've got an opportunity to gather even more information and download more history for the particular time frame we're interested in studying. You can see here in the 1-hour charts, we're basically starting the data back on the 12th all the way to the 19th. Now we're interested in editing this data. You could easily do this. You could edit the data. You could delete that data. You can export that data in the form of a .csv, file. You can also import data. Should you have particular data files with lots of history that you want to import, you can do that as well. Let's say, for instance, let's pop back over here. Their database, 7,537 records. Let's download. Now, what it'll say is you're going to download from MetaQuotes Software Corporation history, but your account is open with Alpari. This is where the demo account is open. And it says, please do not forget that the downloaded history data can differ from the data stored on the trade server. This is why this data cannot be used in disputes over historical prices with Alpari. If you still want to continue, press OK. We're in a demo account, and for looking at more history, we want to press OK. You can see what will happen. Sometimes this will take a bit of time in order to complete. We can just see the start of the green bar there as it moves along. And rather than have you watch this entire thing, I'll pause this and we'll come back to it. Now when we look at our hourly data, you'll notice that it goes back a lot further than the 12th of October as shown initially here. So we've successfully downloaded additional data with which we can study the euro dollar US dollar. You can do this for each of the currency pairs that you're interested in and get more history in order to get more data to study. All right, let's close this out. And let's move on up here. We've covered History Center, global variables. Now, global variables allow for a number of things. This is something that is a bit more advanced, but sometimes there is a need to interchange information and to provide possibility of prompt transfer of moderate amounts of information among experts, as well as organize conflict-free simultaneous working of several experts. So that is what global variables allow for. The values are saved between terminal launches. Unlike those of variables claimed at a global level, they are set at every expert launch and lost at every expert remove. So that's separate for those non-global variables. Global variables are available within 4 weeks since their last call from experts or manual modifying. Now, all installed global variables, their values, and the last time they were called will be listed in this particular window. And using the buttons, you can add a new global variable or delete an existing one. You can change the name or value of a global variable, all in here when they are available. Okay, we'll close the global variables window. Let's move on to the MetaQuotes Easy Language Editor. Let me pop this open for us. And there we have it. There's the Easy Language, it's called the Meta Editor. And as you can see here, this is designed so that you can edit or create expert advisors, and if you want to modify or create indicators, etc., you'll be able to do it inside of the meta editor. A lot of people don't necessarily do much in this particular area unless they are creating their own particular types of indicators, or if they're creating their own trading systems, expert advisors here. So let's close that out. You'll know where that is. should you need to use it. And we'll pop down here to options. Okay. Server options here are pretty straightforward. Keep personal settings and data at startup. Enable news. You can enable the news if you want to. You can enable the DDE server for it. It's a dynamic data exchange server. If you want to exchange data between MetaTrader and another application like Microsoft Excel, for instance. Charts show the trade levels. And this is an example of a trade level up here at the top, the little gray line. It shows where well, actually this is the price level. You see the price level here. And also when there's a trade on, you'll see trade levels that are dotted lines. The green one will say buy, the red one will say sell, and that keeps you in touch with exactly where you are with relation to your trade and the current prices. Show the open, high, low, and close. We like to do that. Show the ask line. If you want to show the ask line, you can do that. You can also show period separators. If you're looking at intraday charts and you wish to see the day start and day end, the trading session day start and day end, you can see that as well. You can click this if you wish to print your chart in color, if you happen to have a color printer. Down here, max bars in history, you want this set to a high number so that you can download lots and lots of bars for intraday studies, such as 1-minute bars. And max bars in chart, 65,000. So you can set it up that way as well. But in fact, let's go ahead and let's set that to a higher number here to match the number of the max bars in history right here. Okay, that's all set. Next, we're going to move on to the Objects tab. We've covered the objects previously, and the objects are such things as the horizontal and vertical lines that we place on a chart in order to mark specific levels or areas that we have an interest in. That can also include trend lines as well. So we can show properties after creation just by clicking that. I leave that open. You can select the object after creation. This is handy when you want to move an object immediately after. You can select the object by a single mouse click as well. And this is particularly handy too, rather than having to double click on the object and then move it from there. Here, where we speak of magnet sensitivity, let's cover this for one moment here. Okay, see that there's varying levels here, magnet sensitivity. Now, you can anchor the checkpoints of objects to different bar prices to locate them more precisely. In this magnet sensitivity field, the option is listed in pixels. So you can define the number of pixels for the level of sensitivity. For example, if you specify this default value of 10, then the object will automatically be anchored to the bar if a checkpoint of the object is located within a radius of 10 pixels from the nearest bar price. That's open, high, lower, close. Now if you want to disable this option altogether, you simply click on 0. And we'll leave it at the default of 10. And then we'll move on to the actual trade menu here. Okay, in our trade window, we have an opportunity to set up some things to happen automatically. Symbol by default, you can set up a symbol you want here, last used, or automatic. Now here, size by default, last used, or you can select which size you want as the default there too. Okay. And deviation by default, you can set it up from 0 to 5 pips. You use last used here. And the deviation simply accounts for the fact that the symbol price can change within the ordering time. And as a result, the price of the prepared order will not correspond with the market one, and the position will not be open. The deviation option, it helps you to avoid this. It gives you a maximal permissible deviation from the value given in the order that can be specified in this field. Now, if prices do not correspond, the program will modify the order by itself and open a new position. So this just gives you some additional flexibility, and this is all within the, quite naturally, within the order screen that we have had an opportunity to take at previously on the tools menu. Now let's move on to expert advisors. And you have a number of choices here. Allow live trading. You can click that on and off. And you can click this if you want manual confirmation. In other words, you're allowing it to trade in an automatic fashion, except that before the order's placed, you have to manually confirm, click on confirm in order to place that order itself. Otherwise, if you leave that unchecked, then you allow live trading and things can go on automatically. Okay. You can enable the experts except for custom indicators and scripts. You can disable when the account has been changed, disable experts when the profile has been changed. This gives you some additional levels of flexibility as well. This way, if you're changing to a particular profile, then you don't have to have any of the other residual experts from a previous profile in the new profile. The DLL imports dynamic link libraries. Your expert advisor's manuals will tell you whether or not to allow these, etc. Allow external experts import, which may be information from an expert advisor server as well. Okay, so now to email. For email alerts, you can enable your email server here, and you place your information in here, SMTP server. There's an example right there. Your login, your password, and you can specify a from and a to field as well, and you can also test that right here if you do enable that, so that you can be emailed an alert while you're out on the road if you wish to keep that closely in touch with what is going on at the time. Publisher. This will work if you happen to have an FTP account, and you can actually publish the results of your current account activity. And this is handy. Publishing your account status is handy if you want to share this information with someone or a group of people automatically without sort of emailing each of them individually. This will be put up on, again, up on an FTP server. And FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol, up on the web. Now, only reports of active accounts can be published. If the account number in the given field does not match with the current one, the reports will not be published. So if your account is your actual account is 12345, and you put the account number in here of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, then the account will not publish the account status. Let's move on to events. All right. Now, in this tab, signals of system events can be set up in the terminal. It's a very convenient tool to inform you about changes in the terminal status. Signals can be set up in this tab. For this to be done, they have to be enabled right here. Okay. And let's go through what each of these events are. Connection to the server. The signal you will receive here is in wave format, so this is a sound, and the signal of a successful connection to the server will sound off as you start up MetaTrader. Disconnect, no connection to the server. It's a signal of interruption of connection, and that's a good thing to know as well. Notifying by email. If this signal has triggered, it is recommended that you check the terminal mailbox window down here. So something's going on, you're being notified by email. Timeout. A certain time range is predefined by performing trade operations. If this range has been exceeded for some reason, the operation will not be performed, and this signal will trigger, and then you can hear that signal. The OK signal is trade operation has been successfully performed. No errors occurred during the performing of this operation. Always good to know. News, receiving of news. If this signal is triggered, it is recommended you go down here and check the news server for if you happen to have news active on your MetaTrader platform. I'll move down here to Expert Advisor. Just let you know when the Expert Advisor, if you happen to have any, is performing a trade operation. This is confirmation, and this request to the Expert Advisor for confirmation of a trade operation. Now this signal can only trigger if the manual confirmation option that we could set back here is checked. Okay. All right. Back to alert. Performing an alert function by an Expert Advisor, and that alert wave will sound. Requote. The price change during preparation of a trade operation, then requote will sound the same alert wave as the alert up here. Trailing stops means the trigger of a trailing stop here. It's basically the trailing stop order if it happens to be active. Now, not all of your brokers that will allow the use of the MetaTrader platform will allow trading with trailing stops. So find out ahead of time whether or not the broker that you're going to use will allow the trading of trailing stops. If you don't use trailing stops, then that's fine. If you do, however, it's going to be important that your broker allow that. That covers the options. That also covers all the things here in the tools menu. And next we'll cover the window menu in MetaTrader. Thank you very much.